What's going on, people? It is Irish Gunner HD here. You can call me Irish, and I'm back after quite a long time away. I finally have probably, I think it's the last actual gameplay of Battlefield 3 that I have left. So I hope you enjoy it, but I don't think you're going to, because I've written down some notes here that reminded me why. Excuse me. Reminded me why this isn't a good game. So basically, just to get it out of the way, like what the fuck was that? Just running along, started the game, and I get killed by admin. I wasn't team switched. I wasn't like put over into a different team, into the other team, around like that. You just killed me. So that was a bad start. As far as the guns that I'm just using the F2000 to start off. I wanted to try it out. A lot of people had been using it that night, and I just wanted to see what all the buzz is about. And at the same time, hopefully, like, just get some kills towards the assignments that you have for the F2000. Then later on I switched it to the M16A3 because I got annoyed by the F2000. I did not understand why so many people had been using it. It wasn't going well for me at all. So I switched up to the M16A3. This was just after the patch where they not buffed it, what's the other word? Nerfed it a bit, and I just wanted to try it out. So as far as the game goes, just want to say that the enemy team were good. Like, it wasn't by any chance like us against like a load of scrubs. Like, they were actually good. I'm playing with Myers Hertz, and his channel will be in the description, of course, and Geiger's. And our team sucked. I don't think I get revived once in this whole game, and if I do, it's probably by Myers or Geiger's. Like, our team was just awful. I really wouldn't usually post this. Like, I would go, like, if I still had my capture card, I'd go and play a few games and then talk about the topic that I want to talk about, and use a different game. But like this, since this is all I have left, it's all I can post. So, just other than that, you'll see that at one point I'm basically the only person on our team who was able to break out of like the line that they've kept us to. They keep us to a fairly solid line. And like I'm the only one that's actually able to make through and like push through, and that's not like tooting my own horn. It's just saying that my team sucked ass. Like, I sound like I'm harsh, being so harsh, but it was just the truth. It wasn't a good game at all. But like I said, I don't have anything else to post. And just keep an eye out for Dondyo, Dondyo. We have quite a big rivalry. He gets me a lot more than I get him, but there is quite a fun little rivalry there. So what my topic in mind for today was actually appreciating the game that we play and the games that we play overall, but like I wanted to kind of focus it on Battlefield because recently I started playing the campaign mode, actually, the Battlefield 3 campaign mode, and I'd started it before. I'd gotten to like 2 or 3 main missions in, like not the little assignments in each mission, like the actual missions itself. I'd gotten like 2 or 3 of them in, and something happened where it was like a bug or glitch or something like that, where every time I was turning on Battlefield 3, like I was opening the disc or whatever, or like I was putting in the disc and starting to play the game, I was getting all the notifications for everything that I've already like unlocked, like all the new scopes and stuff like that. They were all like showing their little orange triangles again, and like, just long story short, the only way to fix the problem was to delete my single player progress. So I did that, and I decided the day before yesterday, I believe, was when I started it, to go back and play the single player campaign, just for a nice change of pace, and I remembered it being good. So yeah, so I was playing it, and then I realised, like, very early on, you realise, particularly, I think it was mainly the blowing up the hotel at like near the very start in the fault line thing. Remember the fault line videos that they played or that they showed before the game came out? That mission where you have to like RPG the hotel. That just made me appreciate so much how good looking this game is, because when you're running around in multiplayer mode and your mind is so focused on like where's the next guy, I have to look around the corner, you're not really taking in the environment. Yeah, like when you're watching it back or something like that, or when you see pictures and stuff, and Battlefield released like official like teaser pictures for like the latest DLC, they like show them in the best light possible. But when you're actually in the game and playing it, it's hard to kind of grasp the amount of detail and the amount of care and attention that went into creating the levels on this game, because they're seriously beautiful. I mean, some of the landscapes and stuff like that in the campaign mode were just amazing. Like the interiors, like the what's his name, Kafarov. It's a Russian name, Kafarov. I can't believe I can't remember his name, but his compound house thing is like this awesome futuristic house, and I was like playing that, like that was one of the last missions in the campaign mode, and I was playing that, and I just kept thinking like this would make an awesome multiplayer map. And it's because it looked like close quarters. You know the way, if you noticed in the close quarters, Zebra Tower and particularly Operation 95 and particularly Zebra Tower, they're like kind of modern, nice architecture and all that in the buildings. Like that, it's just so much attention to detail went into it. Like things that you would never even look at, like when you're playing the campaign mode, you just get to appreciate that a little bit more when you're running to a spot, or like when you're like just waiting for a door to be breached, you can have a second to look around and stuff like that. And I just think the beauty of these games is kind of underlooked sometimes. Like for like another example, Forza Horizon just came out, and like that's not underappreciated, but like again, you're racing around and you're cruising around and you're drifting or whatever like that. You're going around like really fast, and you're really not taking into appreciation like to just stop and look around at what these guys have done. Because like when you think about it, in terms of the technology and stuff like that, we've come from like in the 80s or like the 70s and 80s, we've come from Pong. We've come from Pong to what we have nowadays, and I just think it just isn't appreciated. I mean, as far as like an analogy would go, like 100 years ago, people were driving, like they were driving cars with V8s. Okay, so I seen this. The reason I come up with this analogy, I was watching a program, and it was a Rolls Royce with a V8 engine in it. Like a V8 engine now can get you upwards of 1,000 horsepower, and back then it was only making 20 horsepower. Like it just shows the advances in technology that's been made. Like to go from the same kind of engine, a V8, like an 8-cylinder V formations engine, to go from only being able to make 20 horsepower to well over 1,000 nowadays. Like, and to like it's the same as going from Pong graphics, like 2 lines and a dot moving side to side, to these incredibly realistic worlds and levels and stuff like that we get to enjoy nowadays. Like Crisis 2, like even Crisis 3 is coming out soon, but Crisis 2 is outstanding looking. Like, and even that, like again, it's the same with all first person shooters. Even Call of Duty. I mean, like if you stop and look around the Call of Duty map, particularly from what I'm seeing for some of the Black Ops 2 ones, they're like just beautiful. Like you really, I don't know, I just don't think they're appreciated enough. So like the next time you're playing Battlefield 3, just stop for a second, like while you're making that advancement. Like if you're playing TDM or something like that, just stop and have a look around, look off into the distance, look at the amount of detail that's gone into the building, like design and stuff like that on the close quarters maps and Donia Fortress and stuff like that, like the architecture and stuff like that. Even if you're not, like I'm not particularly into architecture, like I'm not an architect, but like you can tell, like it's just amazing the amount of details that went into things that you wouldn't even notice. Like right now, look at the detail that's in this train carriage. How often, like how much time do you, unless you're a massive camper, how often do you actually spend inside one of those trains? And yet they've done all the little wires that match up all the lights, that connect to all the lights and all that, all in the pursuit of like absolute realism. And as most people know now, we're kind of coming towards like the end of the Xbox and PlayStation's lifespan. Like we're not too far away. We're a year or 2 years minimum away from the next generation, like PS4 and Xbox 720 or whatever they're going to call them, or the PlayStation Orbis or whatever it was, ridiculous name they were thinking of calling it. But like just the things that they've managed to do with the technology that we have now is just awesome. And like on a grander scale, you have PlanetSide 2 on the PC. That looks amazing. Like if you play that game on the highest level or highest graphic settings, like that, it's just so good. Like, and that, like the worlds in that game, like it's not as detailed, I don't think, because the worlds in that game are actually one like little node capture point area in PlanetSide 2 is roughly the size of Caspian Border. If you're not familiar with PlanetSide 2, it's like this giant open world futuristic FPS shooter. And you should definitely check it out. It's in beta now. I actually tweeted out earlier on a free beta key, so if you want to go check that out. Yeah, like the worlds in that are just awesome. They're enormous, but again, they're packed with details. Like, not so much of the little things, like little rocks and stuff like that. There is still a lot of that, but because the worlds are so big, it has to be limited somehow. But like, even that, like, you can just stop and look around and like look into the distance. Like, what was the mission? Sorry, I'm bouncing all over around the place, but I don't really have any. I wasn't really planning on talking about anything specific other than the idea of just taking the time to stop and appreciate the levels. The mission in the campaign that I played earlier on, where you're playing as the Russians, and the three is jump out the back of the airplane with the container thing with the chests full of guns. Like, that was immense. And with the battlefield music playing, dun 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 dun, like all that going on, like, and then falling through the clouds, and it was actually 3D clouds that you were coming through and all. Like, you didn't just pass through one line of clouds like you might have in a game a couple of years ago. Like, that was just amazing. And then to eventually come through the cloud clearing and then like land in the forest, and then all of a sudden you're in this big detailed forest and stuff like that. Like, being able to like take that into to be able to appreciate that and like not be running around, not like land and then immediately go and trying to find a battle like you would in the multiplayer. Just like, the main point of the video is to just say, like, even if you just go into an empty server, like, it's not like you can see it in pictures and videos and stuff like that, and I could do a walk around or something like that of Caspian Border or Operation 9 to 5 or whatever like that, the different maps, Armored Kill, whatever, Armored Shield, sorry, which incidentally is actually a gorgeous map as well. Bandar Desert, oh, I completely even forgot about that. Bandar Desert, that is a beautiful map. Like, you think about the different details that have gone into that. Like, you can walk into a building in the spawn. I can't remember whose spawn it is. I think it might be the US spawn. You can walk into a building in there, just any random building, and it will be like fully furnished and stuff like that. And then you can go out into the desert, and the desert will be all detailed with like expanding, like rolling hills and stuff like that of desert. And then you go over to the beachfront, and then there's all that detail and buildings and stuff like that, and all the stuff inside the building. Like, it's just an immense amount of detail, and it's so beautiful. So like, I would highly recommend, if you ever get the chance and you're not really doing anything but you're online and like you've kind of like, I don't know, like, I would say just go and do it. But like, if you're not particularly interested in doing it, if you get like, you've played like all night and you're just about to get off, oh, excuse me, just go into an empty server and then just have a look around. Like, go into places that you wouldn't usually go into, like, that there's no need to go into. And I guarantee you'll find an immense amount of detail in there. Like, it's just, I love it. Like, I love that kind of attention to detail for no particular reason. And there, as you see, Don Dio, we trade, but I think like it was like 7-3 at that stage or something like that in his favour. But yeah, like, if you ever get a chance, definitely go in and just like any map, any random map, like, because they pay the same amount of attention to detail to all the maps that like in Battlefield 3 at least. And like, even in any other game, literally any, I'm trying to think of other games, like Skate 3, like I'm looking over the games that I have now. I don't have many because I actually traded in most of my games to get some money off Forza Horizon. But yeah, like any really games that you can explore freely in, just take a few minutes and just go around and look at the detail and like look off into the distance. Particularly, like, the stuff up close is all well and good, but like look off into the distance. Yeah, the textures might not be the best because they don't need to waste like high definition textures on like stuff off 10 miles away. But like, just look at it and observe it and like appreciate it, and I don't know, I think you'll enjoy it. Like, I think most people will get a good buzz out of it. But yeah, that's like just something that I want to get off my mind. I was having a bit of difficulty coming up with a suitable topic, considering this is like my last video that I can post. Again, I'm sorry that it's actually such awful, shitty gameplay, but it's all I have. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed hearing my voice again. I actually gained 2 or 3 subscribers while I hadn't posted anything in a while, which is awesome. The last time I checked, I was on 78. And I came on and checked expecting to have lost like 10 of people that just unsubscribed, like not seen any videos. But I actually gained 3. Like, I went from 78 up to 81, so that was immense. I was really happy with that. So thank you to you guys. HD PVR 2 is what I'm getting for Christmas. I'll be getting it Christmas. I guarantee you, Christmas Day you'll have some kind of video. I'll probably play a couple of games of Battlefield, maybe even a game of Black Ops 2. My sister's getting me that for Christmas, so maybe I'll post that, and if the game is fun I might record a couple of games and post a bit of that. But for now, this is the last video of Battlefield. I have one or two of Call of Duty. If I urgently want to talk about something or like whatever, I'll have to use a COD video. But for now, the game is over. It was shit gameplay again. Sorry. Be back in full operation Christmas Day. Please stay tuned until then, and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you're willing to stay. Let me know if you're looking forward to me coming back. So again, thanks for watching the video, and goodbye.